So this is what we're starting off with today. Pithing Needle, main deckable card in Modern right now for the Tybalt's matchups, but also like it does hit something in against basically any deck you're playing. One main deck Aether Gust at the moment, Deafening Silence on the sideboard, 4 Teferi, 4 Archmage Charm, 4 Force of Negation. All these cards are pretty good at the moment. Opponent's revealing Luris, so no Cascade shenanigans here. I will keep this hand though. Polluted Delta, good morning party, good morning Nebel. Bad Kodal. Watery Grave, Thoughtseize, Luris. Could be like a Rogues deck, could be Red Black Scourge, Splashing Blue for Stubborn Denial. Morning Madison. When is the ban list? I don't believe that there's been a ban list announcement. Unless I'm out of the loop,
Spike
which I might be.
Shark Typhoon.
Wisely they take a Shark Typhoon. Blitz 9 months. Good morning, Spike. Have some money. Thank you. Good morning to you too. Yeah, it's probably worth forcing. Kind of stings to lose the Jace, but of course Bitter Blossom is pretty good in this matchup. It's kind of classic Modern, right? Bring a very heavily metagamed blue-white control deck. Get paired against fairies. Would love to see... Yeah, another Bitter Blossom's not bad at all because we can just bounce it with Teferi here. Format's falling apart. People are cascading into Tybalt's on turn 1 and 2. Good old Modern players just casting Bitter Blossom on turns 2 and 3. Thanks, Mom. 1 year. Happy anniversary. I've drawn my main deck Aether Gust. Alright, pass it back. Hopefully, we have 2 more Shark Typhoons to draw into. Shark Typhoon will block the Bitter Blossom tokens pretty well. Yeah, I think blue-white's very good at the moment. Or at least I'm assuming it is.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Sundray Kiwi, 7 months. Welcome back. Thank you for that. Yeah, Bitter Blossom number 3. They target me with the Thought Scour. Interesting. It's a fairy hero of Dominaria. Off the top. Bing, 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 ding. Dang it. Didn't even find like an Archmage Charm to Sanctuary back.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
J Riot, 4 months. Thank you for that. Welcome back to you as well. So we could path this Bitter Blossom token in order to get another bounce with Teferi. And then counter the Blossom on the way down if we use a Mystic Sanctuary. Although we probably need to path that now. But I'm also gonna let them mill me. We're a 4 of Mystic Sanctuary deck. They milled over Jace and Teferi. Oh, why me? Why me? What did I deserve? What did I do to deserve this? I guess we'll see if I draw Supreme Verdict. I was hoping to see one maybe in Sanctuary it back. In fact, okay. Okay, so maybe we will just go Cryptic Tap this turn. When am I going to cast Bitter Blossoms and discard plus counter spells? Hopefully sometime, because that sounds like a lot of fun, but most likely never. Most likely never. It's a good draw. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, that is a main deck Aether Gust, which I have immediately been punished for, but I do think it's pretty good in the format at the moment. I could change my tune. We might play against, like, 3 fairies decks in a row or something. What do I think will happen with Valky? I don't know. I do think that something will happen. I do think that something will happen, and I think that most people think something will happen too. But I don't think anybody really knows. You know what I mean? Are you playing Nyx today? Sadly, no. I know that I tweeted about the card Nyx being playable in Modern yesterday, and I do think that it is. But I also think that if you're playing white, Deafening Silence is better because it costs the same amount of mana and just like counters every single cascade spell that they'll have. But I do think that non-white blue decks do want to play Nyx. I don't think I'm going to bounce Sanctuary because we can't... if we can find a land off the top, we can go Charm and Sanctuary back Cryptic because we have just so many Sanctuaries in the deck. I don't think I was supposed to bounce Sanctuary without a way to draw into it the following turn. Blue-white control, what's going on here? Metagame is pretty screwy at the moment. Gotta play a highly metagamed list like blue-white control. I think that blue-white is a very good choice at the moment. Getting access to Teferi and Deafening Silence, and blue-white control is also like a pretty good deck to main deck Pithing Needle in, which is something I want to be on at the moment. Well, yeah, we'll just kill them with the Spitter Blossom. Probably will bounce the Sanctuary this time because I can draw into the Cryptic off of Teferi. I'll just go tap bounce. Can't Thoughtseize a Mystic Sanctuary. What is the reason for the Path/Condemn split? Path Exile really stinks to cast on turns 1 or 2, and so having access to a couple of spells that you can cast on turn 1 or 2 in blue-white control is at a premium, in my opinion. It's a really, really good thing to be able to do. Opponent draws 2. I probably want to leave the Spitter Blossom in play, right? It's just going to kill them as soon as I draw a Supreme Verdict. Let's see what we draw.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark
Shiloh's
Typhoon.
8 months, welcome back. Hope you're having a good one. Welcome to the Shark Typhoon. Have I been dabbling with Kazuma? A little bit. A little bit. I cast Kazuma recently and was not unimpressed. Really not sure what I'm doing here. I think I'm gonna plus make a 1/1 shark, which it kind of feels like a bit of a spew to just make a 1/1 shark. But we can tap their team, hit, and we'll be able to hit them for 1 the following turn, and bounce their Fairy Rogue. I guess they won't have the blocker because this is also getting tapped. Your wife said I look like Ed Sheeran. Are you talking about Game of Thrones star Ed Sheeran? So what a flattering compliment. Game of Thrones heartthrob Ed Sheeran. Cast a Thoughtseize, please. Thieves Guild Enforcer. Those over Logic Knot and Flooded Strand. And Cling to Dust's my Cryptic Command. Well, that's bad. And Fatal pushes the Shark. Okay, well. Do I Mystic Sanctuary back Charm? I think I do. This effectively gives me 1 more look at a Verdict or a Cryptic. Double path. Okay, so we go path here, path the other lord, take. Not even really that close to lethal. Okay, cool. And hopefully we mill over a Supreme Verdict or Cryptic, but not our 4th Mystic Sanctuary. Okay, we're not dead to just their one lord here, but it's gonna be scary. But it does go down to 3 life off this Thoughtseize. I'm not gonna remand. Maybe I should have remanded. If they have another Soaring Thought Thief in their hand, I guess we lose. This is game 1, yeah. Main decking an Aether Gust today, just 1 copy. And got pretty punished for it. But this doesn't have haste, so it's only 12 damage. They're currently sending everything at Teferi Time Raveler. I imagine that that's going to change. So we're going to take 10, go down to 6. So we're going to top deck Supreme Verdict and win. Yeah, Verdict off the top is a W. We'd also mill it here from the Thought Thief. There's a Cryptic. So now any way to draw a card is going to let us get back the Cryptic with a Sanctuary. Although, the reality, they probably have a counter spell, so we probably just need to draw Verdict. With 2 in the deck. Damn it. Well, definitely was not ready for rogues today. I'm going to bring in these 2 Celestial Purge. Going to bring in the 4th Typhoon. Don't really want these forces. Timely's probably okay. Probably want the Antonice. Like, a spot removal is decent against them. The Path is the worst one. Maybe we'll play 1 Path, 1 Force. Kind of like the look of this configuration.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Knob, 7 months. Keep the stream great. Thanks, buddy. Hope you're having a good day today. Does the boost do anything? Yeah, probably not, but I appreciate you guys boosting, those of you who do. Is it harder to metagame for leagues? Yes, it is. Because no matter how degenerate Modern is, people will still just play decks like Rogues, you know what I mean? Although Rogues is probably fine right now. Tails in versus Bitter Blossom to counter a Bitter Blossom trigger? Is that why you want to bring it in? Because if so, that doesn't seem like a very good exchange. A Bitter Blossom is not legendary, no. Yeah, I'm not sure that I want to marry someone who didn't boost the stream. Probably divorcing if I find out you didn't boost, but you redeemed the marry. Are the Hondens the only legendary enchantments? I don't think so. Maybe. Good question. Surely there's more. So there's like a Ryo, which flips and turns into a legendary enchantment. Yeah, search for Escanta, yeah. Yeah, these guys. Search for Escanta cycle. Oh yeah, the gods. The gods are also legendary enchantments. Although I'm not sure that they really count. Yeah, sure they do. I also like the gods' equipment and stuff, like the Bident of Thassa. They bobble targeting me. I don't think they were supposed to do that with... I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter if they bobble themselves. But they probably should have done it after I fetched. If they Bitter Blossom, I'll use, I think, Celestial Purge instead of Logic Knot. Well, I guess Purge hits most of their things. They kept a 1-lander. 1-land bobble hand. We'll see how that works out for them. I might just jam Teferi. They have to have Force or Spell Pierce or Dispute. I guess that's kind of a long list of things they could have. Yeah, we can just... Because we have Archmage's Charm, we can just draw 2 end of turn. Alright, they found their second land. Yeah, I don't know. I think they also like left in Fatal Push. I mean, I guess we have Sharks, I suppose, but I don't think I would have left in Fatal Push in this matchup. I think we're not going to Sanctuary back Archmage's Charm because I would kind of like to find a land. And then go like Teferi with Logic not up next turn. Though they're going to cling to Dust. Interesting. I think we just let that go. Is this deck still tier 1 today? Blue-White Control has like not been tier 1 for a while, and it's not tier 1 based on like how many people are playing it right now. But I do think that Blue-White Control is a good deck at the moment. They target me even though they have a fetch land. I think I'm bouncing their Watery Grave and drawing a card. Yeah, we've got main deck Pithing Needles today, although we've sided them out. Because we're playing against rogues, baby. Yeah, I think Blue-White's very good. I also have an Abzan mid-range list for later today that I want to try out. Well, awesome. Don't you just love it when Teferi just resolves? Yeah. GP Phoenix was a good time, but it's sad that it's been a year since the last GP. I'm really glad I got to go. I don't think we counter this because I might just want to Mystic Sanctuary back Logic Knot, depending on what they take. I guess they'll just take Jace. What are the main deck needles for? Tibalt! The format is being taken over by Tibalts. Tibalts are everywhere. They are everywhere. It's crazy. But they also like are relevant against basically every deck, I should also say. I don't really care about that almost at all. I'm just going to bounce it with Teferi, I think. Yeah, let me take my draw step before I Sanctuary back this Cryptic. Because I'm going to draw a card off Teferi. I don't really feel like there's a reason to not take the draw step first. Yeah, don't name Valky with Pithing Needle. Name Tybalt. You don't like Spell Pierce right now? I do like Spell Pierce right now, but Blue-White Control is a really bad Spell Pierce deck. Blue-White Control is a really bad deck to play Spell Pierce in. Becomes dead very quickly. I think I'm pretty happy to just take my 2-for-1. Yeah, Deafening Silence is the best sideboard card against these decks. They surgical my Cryptic. I think we just let this go, right? It's just fine. Yeah, I tweeted about Nyx recently. I do think that Nyx is a good sideboard card in Modern. It's worse than Deafening Silence, in my opinion. But I think if you're playing a non-blue deck, non-white blue deck, you probably want to play some amount of Nyx in your sideboard. And Nyx is a 1-mana counter spell. It says counter target spell if no mana was spent to cast it. And so it counters. It's the only 1-mana counter spell that in blue, because there's also technically Silence, but it's the only 1-mana counter spell that unconditionally counters both Tybalt's Trickery and Tybalt, which is a big deal. And a lot of these decks also play Force of Negation, and it also counters that. I guess we're countering that. What cuts would I recommend for Teamer Giants to get below 1,000 ticks? Well, Willow, I don't know. I encourage you to figure that out yourself. You know what I mean? It's kind of difficult. I don't know what Teamer Giants rental limit is, and I also don't know what cuts I'd recommend. But for budget questions, it's very difficult to answer a lot of the times, and it's like a big thing to wrap your brain around. But I imagine what you got to cut are some amount of forces and Uros, and you can play some more counter spells. You can play like a Factor Fiction. You'll figure it out. It'll be good. I I'm just going to plus this again. Has Lurrus and 5 other cards in their hand. I'm a little disappointed you didn't stick to your guns and play Mana Tithe. Mana Tithe is also really bad in blue-white control. Do I plan on playing in the Mana Traders series this month? I have not been playing in the Mana Traders series because I find that like the Swiss is not very good to stream. Like the metagames are always really weird and they're just like a little less interesting than leagues. And I guess we're hardcasting this Shark Typhoon next turn. And I also just like feel like I just don't have time to play the Swiss between like everything I'm doing for the stream already. But if I do find the time, I'll play. Is Tibalt really that strong? It's the best deck in Modern, I believe, at the moment. Not that that can't change, but it is currently the best deck in Modern. We have the original Splinter Twin, though, Logic Knot plus Shark Typhoon. What do I think of Lotus Field in this meta? I think that you want more... I think you want a control deck with like more cheap, efficient answers than what Lotus Field plays. Tibalt doesn't trigger the Planeswalker. The Planeswalker, like, there's lots of different versions, and I think the blue versions with Teferi, Time Raveler, and Force of Negation are the best. But they are dominating Modern and dominating Legacy, from what I can tell. Before Time Raveler, would the Condemns not have been better as Oust? I just hate Oust, honestly. I really hate Oust. I kind of like irrationally, I guess, but just not a big Oust fan. It's okay. It's not a card I really like that much. But it's mulled to 6. I'm gonna keep this hand, maybe a little slow. I love Sunlands, although Sunlands is not very good. But also, like, you know, before Teferi Time Raveler, would the Condemns not have been better as Oust? Like, the instant speed still matters. It's not like just because you have 4 Teferi Time Raveler, your sorceries are all of a sudden instants. Tyrannith Magistrate stops Tiggle's trickery. There are lots of things that stop Tibalt's trickery. But honestly, most of them that are 2 mana are too slow in like 50% of the games, because if they're casting their Tibalt's trickery or Tibalt on turn 2 on the play, whatever 2 mana hate piece you have is too slow, and that's kind of the biggest problem, I think. Oh man, keep a 5-lander, draw 2 lands, baby. Yeah, I agree that the Valky piles are better than the Trickery decks, but they're very similar. And I think that you want most of your hate for these decks to overlap between the two. But I'm missing their 3rd land drop? Well, they've got 4 or 5 spells, and we have yet again drawn another land. But thankfully we have 4 Mystic Sanctuaries in our deck. You know, we've been talking a lot about Sanctuary, and I get that people hate it, but boy does it feel like I just like don't just lose to Super Mana Flood because I play Sanctuary. You know what I mean? It's like I kept a 5-lander, I've drawn 4 lands in a row, but I'm just not that worried because I get to play Sanctuary. Not that I don't know. I get it. I definitely understand people's grievances with the card. I don't mind remanding this. Maybe I was supposed to keep another fetch land up. No, that doesn't work. But I am a little worried about Surgical. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely... I'm hoping that we see an errata on how the Cascade... Come on. On how Cascade plus Valky works. I hope we see that today. But I'm kind of expecting some action next week. They fetch a Sanctuary. Okay. Well, I'm going to Sanctuary back Remand here. Yeah, I haven't checked Discord Ghost. With Trickery would be errata to counter one of your opponent's spells. I do not believe in power level errata like that. I think that is bad. It's maybe a little different when you errata a mechanic like a companion, but as far as just power level errata on cards, I really am not in favor of that. Period. But the Valky Cascade thing, which is more of the problem. The Valky deck is more of the problem in my opinion than the Tybalt's Trickery deck. Right, I'm going to remand my own Jace here.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
JG Score, thank you for your 7-month resubscription. Just ban the card if it's too good. Don't. In fact, like Tybalt's Trickery was never intended to be a red counterspell. It was always intended to be, you know, this like combo
Welcome,
card.
Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
So like power level erratating it also just doesn't make a ton of sense because of that. Designed for Tybalt's Trickery definitely didn't mean to include Willing into an Eldrazi. I actually think that's exactly what it was designed to do. I just don't think that they realized how it worked with Cascade spells. Lampshell, hope you're having a good time. 2 months in a row, love to see a second month. But it was absolutely, I think, intended to target your own spells. No, I think Deafening Silence is better than Nyx, but I will be playing Nyx in my non-white blue decks. Right. Spell time. Let's go. Come on. This has been a frustrating game. Let's talk about Hob now. So yeah, I can't believe Hob got banned. Feel bad about it. They main phase draw 2. Well, Hob didn't get banned. He's like 14-day suspension, I think. Hob is a streamer I like. He's a Dark Souls streamer. Alright, Shark Typhoon. Can I define tempo? Tempo cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred from one player to another. Another point, Jace the Mind Sculptor. I only have one of those left in the deck, though. Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, Hob is just kind of like always... Ah! Come on! Hob is just always kind of off the rails, and we don't know what he got suspended for, but it could be any number of things. I feel like I've been flooding out so much lately. Yeah, I've got a 14-day suspension on Friday, from what I understand. Yeah, my opponent's just stumbling. Their hand's been so awkward. I mean, we're not like necessarily going to lose this game. They bill over to 2 more Teferi Time Ravelers. Yeah, we're not necessarily going to lose this game, but we've just gotten, I think, pretty unlucky to draw as many lands as we have. What's my favorite card out of the set? Probably Invasion of the Giants. I don't think I'm gonna Sanctuary back Condemn. It's just so bad if they have a Thoughtseize. So how does Valky Cascade fit in this deck? I'm not sure exactly where you're confused, but we're not playing that combo. No, I think we actually have no Kaldheim cards in this deck. But this deck is like good again because of like what the metagame that Kaldheim has created. Yeah, Deafening Silence is the Kaltime edition. Opponent's also at 7 live. Any consideration for running Doomscar over Verdict? No. Verdict is better. Starnhelm Unleashed is also, I think, not a playable modern card. In fact, I'm honestly like very low on that card. You're trying to make a joke? I see, I gotcha. Last week I did not see a streamer without Cascade Valkyrie. I guess you didn't tune into my stream, which is fine. But I've been just trying to beat it rather than play it at the moment. Middle of a Cryptic Command and Snow-Covered Island. Sadly, we are out of Sanctuaries. You wonder why Tricky was the hot deck before Valky? I think that maybe the Valky deck just seemed to be a little less obvious to me. Yeah, I think we're just
to the Shark Typhoon.
I think we're just plussing this, and then we're gonna make a shark on their instep when they can't do anything about it and just kill them. Grim Tudin, 10 months in a row. Hope you're having a good day today. Have we not missed a land drop? 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's turn 12. Not missed a land drop yet. Hell yeah. Happy Monday to you too. Yeah, I think the Valky deck was maybe a little less obvious. That honestly, I just didn't really realize how good playing the Valky deck would be if you just get to play a mid-range deck at 3 and above on your curve, and then you can cascade into Valky on turn 2. It's just so good, and I think the blue versions are currently the best. This my opponent could have their own Typhoon. So except Teferi, what do you use to fight against the new Cascade Valky decks? I have main deck Pithing Needle and 3 Sideboard Deafening Silence. And 4 main deck Teferi, so... And main deck Aether Gust. I've got a lot. I think I'm playing Sanctuary tapped on turn 1. Hardened Scale is also not a deck I was really expecting to see. Aether Gust main deck and Pithing Needle. Yeah. Archmage Charm, great against Hardened Scales, by the way. Maybe I'm supposed to get another white source because we do have verdicts in our deck, but it's fine. I think we'll find another. Yeah, Snapcaster I think is not very good in this deck. I hate to say it, I love playing Snapcaster Mage. Just is what it is, you know. I did have a good weekend, Jeff. Thank you. Hope you did too. Can maybe steal animation module here. Could just counter the hanger back, but I'd rather steal the hanger back, I think. Yeah, I'll just steal the hanger back. Snow day for work, very cool. We actually got a little bit of snow here in Texas last month. Probably not seeing any again for years, but it was pretty cool. It's kind of a rare thing. Yeah, Charm is so good in this matchup. I might steal their Hardened Scales. I might steal their Hardened Scales, then activate Hangerback Walker this turn. Main deck Pithing Needle also pretty good in this matchup, I think. Cool deck opponent I'd like to play. They choose not to graft. Is aggro the best strategy to beat up on the Valky decks? I don't think so, necessarily. I think that this is the best. I think that this is one of the best decks against Valky. Like, I definitely feel like I'm currently metagaming for the Valky decks with this list. I'm okay if my opponent double ballistas my hanger back here. But just like turn 2 Valky, especially on the play against an aggro deck, is often just going to be enough to win. So I think it would be What is this attack? I think it would be wrong to say that aggro is the best way to beat up on the Valky decks. They are going to double ping my Ballista, which is fine. Really good exchange for us. I top 4 the challenge yesterday with Bant Reclamation. Yeah, I Bant Reclamation I think is a fine deck too. There are a lot of good decks I think that are able to now. There are a lot of like lesser played strategies like blue-white control, like Abzan, which is something I'm going to be playing later, that can rise to prominence in this new metagame. That's with Valky being the best deck. Yeah, I think Spell Pierce is good right now, but I also think that I don't know. I have a hard time wanting to play Spell Pierce in this deck specifically. It's just so bad in blue-white control, I think. Second animation module is not that good, but I think I am interested in getting this one off the table. So, all of a sudden if we let that resolve, then I could probably let the Ozolith resolve. If we let that resolve, then getting this off the table with the second charm is just not going to do anything. So opponent's down to no cards in their hand. Yeah, we're playing. I have an Abzan mid-range deck for later today. I'm pretty excited to play. I think it's going to be good. Hope it's going to be good. Yeah, I think discard spells are also better than they've been in months and months even. I think I'm condemning this Inkmoth Nexus. I really don't want it to hit me. Otherwise, animation module can double the infect counters. But obviously the other option is to like make a Shark and block. But I think I'm okay to wait here. No, there's not Rhino in it because Siege Rhino is not a modern playable card, sadly. I don't make the rules. But I get it. I'd love to cast Siege Rhino, but that card's not good. I actually think it's going to be pretty good, but the Squirrel, the 4-mana 1/1 indestructible can't be countered. I'm playing one of those in the deck. I'm pretty excited for it. I actually think it's going to be decent. How many Nyx do I plan to run? I think if you're playing white, you want to play Deafening Silence instead of Nyx, which is what I'm doing today. But if you're playing a non-white blue deck, you should play some Nyx, maybe like 3 or 4. Yeah, I actually think the Squirrel's going to be pretty good. I just wanted like one more grindy 4-drop, and that was a pretty good option. I don't really think there's honestly like no card I'm super scared of here. I think I'm making a 2/2 Shark. Any chance they don't do anything about the format since there's no Prairie? Yeah, I don't know if this hasn't been clear. I have no idea what Wizards is going to do. If I were Wizards, I would be erradicating how Valky works with Cascade, so that you have to Cascade into Valky, not Tibalt. I would be doing that today, and then looking at bans going forward. But I basically never am able to predict what Wizards is going to do. It's very, very rare, very, very rare that what I think Wizards should do ends up being actually the course of action that they take. Not that they'd never like pleasantly surprise me with their decisions. It's just, I am not like someone who's good at predicting Wizards' choices. Is there not a ban and restriction update today? Is there one? That I don't know. I don't know of one. Is there supposed to be one? You thought the me making ban list decisions bit is it's a dying meme, I think. Ontanize is so good against them. Like if you Ontanize Ballista or Hangerback Walker, you can bounce it with Teferi later. It's actually pretty good. Probably want to play about 2 Force of Negation. think one Aether Gust is actually okay too. Don't really like Remand so much. Tails End is okay, but not huge on it. Could maybe play 3 Force, 2 Gust. I think I just want to play 1 Gust. I'll play 3 Force. So what made you want to play Hardened Scales and Animation? It just felt like the right thing to do, right, for the metagame. yeah. I like playing Hardened Scales. The last time I played Scales, I 5-0'd with it. I think it was a donation deck. Have I traded Seagate Stormcaller and Izzet Dreadhorde? Seagate Stormcaller is not good in a deck with a ton of counter spells, which is what the Izzet Dreadhorde deck is right now. Logic Nod seems slow. I mean, it's a turn 2 counter spell. It's fine. Did you decide that Nyx actually wasn't great? No, I didn't decide that. But I think that in white decks, it's better to play Deafening Silence than Nyx. But I think Nyx is good in all of your non-white blue decks. But Deafening Silence being the same mana and like preemptively countering all of their Cascade spells is better, I think. And you can also bring in like 1 or 2 Deafening Silence against Prowess. I'm going to keep this, although we have the Splinter Twin, or maybe I should say Splinter Enemy of Snow-Covered Plains Archmage's Charm. I'm not sure it's worth to change the rules mechanic on it. I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of... I do think it's dumb that you can cascade into Tibalt. I think it's just a dumb thing. Doesn't really... It's like... I think it's silly, and I think it probably shouldn't work that way. So I do support the rules change. You know, cheating out 7 drops, although maybe it's, you could argue that Tibalt is like a 6 drop, but cheating out 6 drops on turn 2 is often dumb. This is no exception, and so like fixing it for other MDFCs will like prevent this dumb situation from continuing to happen, right? If a rule change were the only thing to occur, wouldn't Uro just reign supreme again? I was really, really enjoying the dynamic of the modern metagame before Kaldheim, and it is too early to say that I don't enjoy this format, but even though Uro was definitely very good at the top of the metagame, it wasn't the only deck, and the metagame was diverse and evolving and changing and generally fine. I think it would continue to be generally fine. That's just my opinion, but... Kind of funny that we are like verdicting away no actual cards, but I think we are supposed to verdict here. Maybe it was also supposed to Sanctuary back Charm. People only want fair versus fair decks in Modern. I do not want that. I think that Glass Cannon combo decks, fast combo decks, have a very important place in Modern. But there needs to be balance, you know? There needs to be balance. And right now, like specifically cascading into Tibalt, not Tibalt's trickery necessarily, is what I'm finding to be a little problematic. Yeah, if I had Sanctuary back Charm, things would be better here. So we Anthonize, they get counters on the Ozolith, which stinks. I think I'm just Jace Plussing. Jace Plussing is bad against Ravager. They were kind of soft to... I mean, they just get to put the counters on the Nexus. I think this is fine. If they ban Simian Spirit... Oh, yeah, put that on the bottom. If they ban Simian Spirit Guide, does Ad Nauseam die? Yeah. Although, like, you could maybe have some combos with Thassa's Oracle. And I do think that Simian Spirit Guide is a card that is probably a little unbalanced for Modern. It's a card that really does lead to like the most non-games, but is also like maybe the card that needs to exist for fast combo to be viable. You know what I mean? And I do think fast combo being viable is important to Modern. But what I would like to see is I'd like to see the Cascade rule changed to where like if you cast a Cascade spell, you have to actually cast the Valky, not the Tybalt. That's what I would like to see done immediately, and then I'd like to see how formats shape up before taking any other changes. And I was in favor of an Uro ban, before Kaldheim, and I probably still will be at some point, but right now that doesn't really feel like the thing to be addressing. Are they need to Pendlehaven right now, or I guess not right now, but if they Pendlehaven their Nexus, we lose the Jace. It's a cool line that they've taken. This is going to be tough to beat. Or change the CMC of MDFC to be some like split cards. Yeah, that could also be a valid errata. I agree. Or just not even an errata, just a change of how the rules work. Because things just feel silly right now. Which version seems more powerful, the Jun Shell or the Uro pile? I like the blue deck that doesn't play Uro. There's a few different versions, I guess, but I like I think maybe the best one is the one that Doomwake posted that just plays the Saheeli cat combo. I think that one's better. I really don't even feel like Uro is that good in their deck. It's okay for sure. So I guess I'm going Needle, Nexus, and then Supreme Verdict here. Yeah, I agree that Valky is a cool card. Why did Mana Trials do Modern this month? That's insane. I feel like that's like a bit reactionary. I don't know. Modern's still like the most popular format on Magic Online. And it's also like pretty likely that something changes from now to then. And they also probably had it like planned in advance anyways. Gain a life. It's kind of cool that we get to strand these counters on the Blink Moth too. They can't, move them around anymore. But I will not be surprised if we see some changes to the Modern format from Wizards in the next week or two. And I won't be surprised if it's like later than the community wants, but it also is, I think, the case that reactionary decisions don't usually translate to be good decisions. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to steal the Ozolith and put the counters on my Shark here. To be fair, a year's delay isn't reactionary. Sure. What are we talking about? They should have done something about Modern a long time ago. I don't necessarily agree. I think that Modern has had its problems recently, but I think that Modern, for like the last 6, 7, 8 months, has been overall better than it usually is. And that's fine. Everybody enjoys formats. They enjoy different things about different formats, of course, but I think Modern has been good. It's been dynamic and changing and relatively fine. Yes, but since the Astrolabe ban, Modern's been... It hasn't been perfect, but Modern has been fun, in my opinion, since the Astrolabe ban. And ultimately, that's like the most important thing to me personally, is Fun. I guess we need to leave this shark back to block the Ink Moth. Interesting. Not going to counter the Ozolith here, I think. I think what I am going to do... Continue to play Hardened Scales. Yeah, opponent's definitely very flooded. It's been a cool game. Alright, so now we have an answer to the Ink Moth Nexus, so I'll go ahead and attack with both guys here. Not really sure what this is about. They can't pump this because Blink Moth Nexus is needled. Oh, they can Pindle Haven. I see. That's what this is about. Yeah, so I wasn't supposed to attack with this then. Just missed the Haven. When I'm making MDFC work like split cards. Yeah, I think that's probably the correct errata. You know, it wasn't, or at least it shouldn't have been the intended result of Cascade to be able to have your 3-mana Cascade spell hit a 7-mana Planeswalker. And it's a bit silly it currently works that way, and I hope that it does not work that way forever. Are these -1 counters? Can I put these on my opponent's creatures? You can! You can put these on your opponent's creatures. That's awesome. Dude, we can kill this Metallic Mimic. That's cool. But your opponent gets the counters? Oh, right! The Ozolith Wars. That's fine. My shark will be too big to defeat. Yeah, actually, I think I'm attacking with my Servo again. That way I can Anthonize my opponent's Ink Moth Nexus. Wait, why did this only get one -1? Oh, because one of the +1 and -1 counters canceled out. Wait, they canceled out! So does that mean Skinrender works with Metallic Mimic? It's been a hot topic on our channel. Sorry, not Metallic Mimic. It's been a hot topic on our channel. Does Skinrender cancel out the -1 counters on Geralf's Messenger? And I thought that yes was the answer, but everyone in chat told me no. And I think the answer, I think it should be no, but I think that's how it didn't work that way just now. Because my opponent only got one -1 counter here. They canceled on the Ozolith. Yeah, exactly. It's not about canceling, it's about the Undying checks. Oh, right. You're right. Yeah. I see. Got it. Yeah. The Ozolith has it canceled out. Alright. I just want, things to work out for me. Does this matter? I don't think it does. They don't have another artifact creature, so they're still just dying to the shark. Yeah, so I think we just don't do anything about this. An 11/11 shark. It's not a match against Hardened Scales if someone doesn't get a little confused about the rules. If someone doesn't get just like a little confused about the rules. I have not tried it, and I don't think that it would be better. Especially like Yorion in like hard control decks, I think that's kind of where Yorion is at its worst. Since the main thing that Yorion does when you put it in your deck is it doesn't really diminish your deck's power level very much, but what it does is it diminishes your deck's consistency, especially post sideboard. Spirits is a tough matchup, I think. It diminishes your deck's consistency and forces you to your sideboard is really taxed. You have a much harder time having like efficient and effective sideboard cards. Because it's just very hard to mulligan into them, or harder when you have 80 cards. Yeah, I agree that Spirits is probably the nightmare matchup, but we do have a good hand. We can definitely beat them. The 4 Shark Typhoons are pretty good in this matchup. We have a lot of removal. But I think tanked way too long on that.
Look, it's a wild Athena.
Huh?
You found your headphones.
I have no Athena.
You're lying.
Athena's a good dog.
You found your headphones?
I did, yeah. They were just here. Yeah, I thought that I may have washed my headphones, but because I accidentally washed some magic cards. Me and Esther were over the weekend. I took a backpack that I got from the Zendikar PT, and in the backpack were 9 packs of Zendikar. We were so excited, and then I washed them all. You know, easy come, easy go, I guess.
Did you show them the claws?
Not yet. Not yet. It's pretty good. It's, or at least I should say not the worst exchange for us. I think I'm just going to bounce that, actually. Hopefully I draw a land. Did not draw the land. If you want to grab the claws... yeah, this is one of my gifts to Esther for anniversary/birthday. Because we got matching sets of crab claws. Because we've been watching a lot of Futurama. And every time... Anyway, I guess there's also like the crab rave song, but we always like to go... Pithing Needle. Probably drawing 2 cards here. This was my gift to us for anniversary. I think I'm not sanctuarying something back here. Main deck, Pithing Needle. And am I gonna block? I think, yeah, I guess I'll just leave this back to block. We're definitely the control deck.
Oh, yeah. I would love to be a crab emote.
Oh yeah, that would be good. I'll talk to Madison.
Yes.
Is that the 3rd or 4th Skyclave? I think it's the 3rd. I feel like we can cast Jace here, but maybe I would rather Typhoon and block the Selfless Spirit. I think I'd rather do that. Why only 2 path in deck? I'm doing a split of 2 path, 2 condemn, and also I view kind of viewing the Pithing Needles as other 1 mana interaction. But path is bad to cast on turns 1 to 2, and so like having a 1 mana removal spell you can cast on turns 1 or 2 is a really big deal.
We're gonna get some cold weather.
Today?
No, later this week. Those are
Oh
the
wow!
highs.
Oh, good thing I'm not leaving my house.
Yeah, that's true. When we were in the cabin and it was like cold, I was like, oh, I forgot.
What's my go-to playmat when playing in paper? I don't have a go-to one. I usually cycle through. I do have one that I really like that isn't up there, but it was one of the SCG regional mats that I like. Cool. So now we get to Verdict because our opponent has lost their Selfless Spirit. Gonna attack first. It's probably obvious though when we do. I guess my opponent's last card could be another copy of Selfless Spirit that they flash in at instant speed, and then this attack is bad. And probably hedging against that is better than getting in for... No! Clicking is hard, I guess. Oh my gosh. Now this attack was even worse. Just a misclick, gang. Guess I was supposed to maybe path that just now. I'm not sure. No, I want to save the path for a Selfless Spirit. I mean, we're still doing okay, but this was obviously not the line. Just a misclick. Also doesn't really feel like a matchup you can afford to misclick in, I guess. Alright, can't target any of this stuff. Guess I want to play this. They violate a spell queller. Okay. Shit. Guess I'm gonna path the Drogskell Captain on their upkeep so I can have force up. Don't think we're dead. Block. Yeah. But it does get to tap my illusion actually, so 2. We're dead, yeah. Stinks. Feels bad. They might have still had the Queller, but obviously the misclick maybe just cost us the game. Never feels good. I think I will keep in these needles. Probably want some number of force, but not too many, of course. The Vial was on 2, but they also had enough mana to cast the Queller, I believe. So confused on holding the path and not killing the captain when they swung. Well, we had Supreme Verdict in our hand. Well, I guess it does shrink the rattle chains. Yeah, that's probably better. How do you play control in GP? Is this like an insult because I misclicked? Because at GPs it's paper. Or are you just asking a general question? I can't really tell. I'll play the first Tail's End. You mean the time? Well, I play quickly. It's never really been a problem for me. I don't see a lot of blue-white winning GP. Well, I mean, this isn't a GP, right? I'm just kind of trying to adapt for the current modern metagame. But that's not why blue-white doesn't win GPs. It's not because of time. That's not the constraint there. But I'd say playing quickly on Magic Online is, you know, a lot of it is just experience. Yeah, a lot of it is just experience and understanding, like, you know, having already made decisions before you need to actually make them in your game is a big deal, you know? And so, like, that way you don't need to agonize over every small thing. I think I'm just going to untap here. You don't need to agonize over every small thing if you've already made a lot of these calls before already. And so that way also, like, if you've already played every matchup inside and out, and then you have some decisions to make. I think I'm just gonna make a 2/2 Shark and block. If you've already played every matchup inside and out, like on the difficult decisions, that's like when you can afford to think about it and spend your time, because you don't have to spend time thinking about decisions that you should just already, you know how to make based on your experience in a matchup. Alright, guess we're pathing the captain and then condemning the Supreme Phantom off of second Hallowed Fountain. Love to draw another Shark Typhoon. That'd be great. Or just any Planeswalker here would be strong as well. Basic Island, a little less strong. Not going to Sanctuary back a removal spell here. Seems like a bad matchup though. There are some dreams that cannot be, and there are some storms we cannot weather. Dead Dual Lord. Do I expect a change to Modern or Cascade today? I don't expect one, but I hope for one. Kind of weird that they wouldn't just, I mean, maybe they're going for the kill here. Are we in combo winter? I I've seen a lot of people comparing the current modern metagame to like Hogak or Eldrazi, and I feel like that's a little early to say. Or a little early to say, especially because there are, I don't know, these decks seem more beatable to me than Hogak and Eldrazi, but time will tell. Processing information. Do I think a Spirit Guide ban would help? A Simian Spirit Guide ban would, I don't know. Like, honestly, like, if you're gonna ban a card because of the Tibalt's Trickery deck, because of the Cascade deck, because of, even, like, Oopsal spells, these hands, going to 4. These hands! I'm going to mulligan to 3. This is terrible. It's just like blue-white control, mulling to 3 because of non-functional hands. Opponent went to 6. Can I have that 7-card hand back? I mean, it was like 3 lands and like all 4 drops. So here's the thing. It's like Simian Spirit Guide ban. I don't know. It's like if you're gonna ban a card from those decks, it probably should be Spirit Guide. But I also think like fast combo has a really important role to play in Modern. I think it's very important for fast combo to be a presence. Otherwise, like the mid-range mirrors I think become, and the control decks, the matchups become so much more miserable because everybody just tries to go over the top of each other without having to play cheap interaction for fast combo decks. So I would it be better to concede without hold info? No, because my opponent was watching the stream, so no withholding info value to be gained. If we had drawn a land and resolved Teferi, I actually think we also had a chance. Fast combo isn't dead without Simian Spirit Guide. Yeah, but it loses its best tool, which stinks. Isn't slower combo decks possible into mid-range? My point is fast combo has a really important aspect to balanced formats, in my opinion. Like, I think specifically fast combo is very good. Well, my opponent is certainly a smart person playing a good deck. Probably gonna play some more of that this week. Opponent puts 1 card on bottom, 1 card on top, plays Misty Rainforest, passes. I might concede if I don't draw a land, but I did draw the land. Winning on a fair mulligan to 3 would be bananas. Be so good. Boros Prison becomes nigh unplayable without Simian Spirit Guide. So you're saying you should ban Simian Spirit Guide so it's nigh unplayable instead of completely unplayable. No, not my Boros Prison deck. Anything but that. But really what I'd like to see right now, again, is I'd like to see rules change and to where like Cascade, like MDFCs count both sides of the cards. So if you Cascade into a Valky, it's effectively a 9-mana spell. And then just see what the format looks like after that. What decks actually lose Simian Spirit Guide? Belcher, Oopsal spells, Neoform, Ad Nauseam, Tibalt's Trickery, Tibalt. I think I'm missing one big one, but there's a lot. Red Prisons. Again, Red Prisons are just... Yeah. Please! Red Prisons are the... oh, no. The Red Prison people saying, don't ban Simian Spirit Guides for my deck existing. It's the same thing as the Mardu Pyromancer people saying, please don't ban Faithless Looting. I need my Mardu Pyromancer deck. I need my Mardu Pyromancer deck for my Faithless Looting deck to exist. Please. And it's like, I'm out here dying every day to... Dude, we actually have a chance on this mold to 3 in this, like, blue matchup. It's crazy. We actually just have a chance here. We've drawn very well. Do I not think Mox Opal will be a viable unbanned for now? No, Oko. I mean, it's like, again, people who want things like a Mox Opal unbanned right now, like I think they're only like concerned with making the decks they want to play viable. You know what I mean? Where like Mox Opal unbanned wouldn't fix a lot of the glaring issues we have at the moment. And it's really hard to have a good conversation with somebody who just like whose main interest is having their favorite deck being good. Do I think Valky will be unplayable with the rules change? Probably not, but like, you know, fringe playable. Damn it! I'm gonna remand this and hope to find a Force of Negation, which we do play 4 of. They're gonna remand their Bolt. All right, let's go to game 2. I feel like that was still a pretty impressive showing for a Multi 3. Guess I want to needle naming Ren and 6 is a big deal. I'm not sure that I want more than just one needle. We could play one verdict to like clean up zombies. Yes, you can cascade into Valky and cast Tibalt, and it's the best deck in Modern. Why is there not a testing environment where players can test certain bans and unbans? Would that not help for these discussions? I mean, who would run it? Would there be prizes for a format like this? And then, like, also, you know, there's like a big question of, I kind of want to name Misty Rainforest. I was gonna name Brennan 6. You know, who would run it? Who would be compensated for it? How would this data be processed? I feel like it's, you know, maybe sounds easy in theory and is like kind of a nightmare in practice. I could have named. I wanted to name Misty Rainforest. No Field of Ruin. No, I'm playing 4 Archmage's Charms, and I just kind of want to play no Field of Ruin. I mean, Field of Ruin doesn't even beat Field of the Dead. You know, like you get like, you know, you're spending mana, they spend no mana, and then they still have like 3 or 4 zombies a lot of the time. It's not like you play Field of Ruin and all of a sudden you've got like this clean answer to Field of the Dead. Like a lot of times you still have to like cryptic loop people, even if you kill their Field of the Dead. I think I'm jamming Teferi here. Podcasters League, where all these podcasts actually have to do the thing they won't shut up about. Is that the testing the environment? That's what we're talking about. It's like if you have a modern format with like prizes and prestige and, you know, incentives for grinding, and then you have a theoretical format with none of that, it's like, I wouldn't play it. So they have to have Dispute or Force now. Or that card. They do have Force, looks like, going down to 3 cards. If they play a Primeval Titan, it's gonna be so frustrating on turn 4. Like, I could have held up this Gust, but like I think playing around Double Spiral was probably not the play. Yeah, maybe Pioneer will be great again. Don't I wish Field of the Dead was an island? No. You feel like you don't want a whole week of uncertainty, just say something, Watsy. I don't know. I think it's generally good for Wizards to like take their time on decisions like this, especially when it's clear that some action needs to be taken, but it's not, you know, immediately clear exactly what needs to happen. And everybody has their own opinion on what they want to happen, but there's just, you know, thousands of people yelling at Wizards what to do, and ultimately they have to make the decision, and it's, you know, again, just not immediately clear. I think I am going to Gust this. What changes happen to make blue-white control viable is because it destroys trickery. Yeah, and not trickery, the Tibalt deck too. The Tibalt deck is better in my opinion at the moment. But yeah, it should be pretty favored against both of those. Not that we've played against that yet. You imagine that we use MTGO data to come up with something. I agree. I agree that they probably will, but it's not like it's just immediately obvious what the decision should be. Although everyone in chat probably thinks it is. I think it's, and then they also have a team of real people who all also have different opinions, and they have to work together to figure out what the play is. Are people playing Invasion in these Marpods? Yes, people are, because some smart and handsome streamer on day one of Cal time, I don't know, I'm just trying to say yes. These decks are good. I've been playing them. I was playing them day one. Invasion of the Giants, very good in these Teamer Uro piles, and I think that this is like the best Uro deck. Although maybe the best Uro deck needs to be playing Valky or Teferi or both. Yeah, F-Pause was pretty innovative. There was definitely some parallel thinking, but my stream was before his. But he was definitely also trying to try it. I think I want to draw like Jace the Mind Sculptor here. Not just Sanctuary back Verdict and then lose the game. But if we can go like Jace or Teferi into Verdict, that's how we're going to win. Yeah, I think just like Sanctuarying back Verdict is a losing play here. We need to draw Jace or Teferi, resolve it, and then Verdict. Okay. I'm gonna keep this hand against the Luris deck. Don't make that joke. Dangerous territory. I mean, there's no point, no matter what I do. And I get it. It's definitely a tumultuous time, and I get why people are here asking about the modern ban list, especially right now. But no matter what I do, we're going to have, every 5 minutes questions about the format and ban lists and announcements and stuff. Was the Mo 3 game one in case you're on Trickery? No, it was, my hands were just completely non-functional. Well, my first hand was like 3 lands, and then like 2 Jace's, Cryptic, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. I mulliganed that with like just no interaction on the first 3 turns, and then my hands proved to be like completely non-functional. Let me cycle this before I choose what to discard. But I would never just like Multa 3 in the blind, hoping to be able to beat Trickery. We're not there. The format is not there. I'm gonna steal this Swift Spear. Maybe I'll steal that Swift Spear. I'm blocking Bomat, right? Oh, they should have done this before they attacked, because I could have Force of Negation. One card in their hand, 4 cards under Bomat. Yeah, the Needle is mostly for Tibalt. It's pass. Not sure if this was the play here. I think it is. But like Needle, there's like almost no matchups where Needle is completely dead, and having Needle for Tibalt game 1 is pretty nice, especially in blue-white, which has like very few answers to a card like that. My opponent does get to draw 5. Hopefully they have to discard their last card. Alright, so it's kind of like +3 cards because they lost the Bomat and they lost the TBR in their hand, which is still very good. They pushed the Swift Spear with one of the new cards. They also have Krokus in their graveyard, Lurrus in hand, and a Shadow to play. And a Bomat to play. A little less scary. Okay, let's hold up Cryptic this turn, and maybe we can go Hero into Logic Knot next turn. We are at 8 life. Opponent only has 2 cards, though. They can just keep escaping Kroxa, but if we can go Teferi, Logic Knot Kroxa next turn, it's going to be a big game. How is Lurrus in hand when they use the Bomat? Sorry, yeah, Lurrus not in hand, Lurrus in companion zone. That's what I meant to say. Access to Lurrus. Yikes. If Pithing Needle is main deck, would it be worth... I mean, would it worth be playing Urza? Maybe. I think you don't have to be playing Urza for Needle to be good. I think Needle is just like an okay main deck card at the moment. Man, missed on the lands. Stinks. It's our only line, really. If we find a land here, we're not doing so bad. We did find the land. Gotta stabilize, though. Hopefully we just get to remand this Kroxa. Shit. I feel like they're probably just not going to play the Kroxa now. But I think we need to remand it. Yeah, remanding an escape card puts it in the hand. It's a really good draw. So now if we can draw a land to go to Teferi into Condemn plus Logic Knot up, we're doing okay. And by okay, I mean, you know, maybe not dying. That's a card. Yeah, we just can't ever shock here, sadly. So I guess I'm discarding Teferi Time Raveler to Kroxa. Yikes. Have to force this, otherwise we're dead on board. And then we can discard Logic Knot to Kroxa, Condemn the Swift Spear, and go to 2. And maybe draw like exactly Supreme Verdict Logic Knot and win the game. But even then they get to put like 4 cards in their hand. They probably should just go. They should probably just hit me here, then put 5 cards into their hand and try to draw lightning bolts. They could bolt right here. I mean, what do you want me to do? I know. Yeah, I feel like they probably should just put 5 cards in their hand, but... Well, that's Supreme Verdict. If we draw... Counterspells, maybe our best draw off of the Teferi. No way! Exactly Supreme Verdict plus Logic Knot. The exact perfects. Not that we are favored, but these were, I think, the best 2 cards that we could have drawn. It's exactly what I asked for. Oh, they also didn't hold priority. They could have just put 5 cards in their hand, but I guess they just didn't know about that trick. I think we're dead to a Lightning Bolt because we can't Logic Knot both Kroxa and Lightning Bolts, but that was definitely good for us. Although maybe it was intentional. I'm not sure. We could live to see another turn. Yeah, maybe sometimes control is a little weird. I agree. You're right. Don't need to play around Simian Spirit Guide because they revealed Lurrus. And also they would never play it, of course. We done? I think this is just them putting Lurrus in their hand. It could be Kolaghan's Command. I think it's Kolaghan's Command and they're just having trouble choosing the modes. Yeah. A little bit of lag as I died. Okay, going to game 2. I think we do have a good matchup. Bring on the Onthanises, the Purges. Timely's a bit weird because they lose so much life to themselves. It's not definitely good. I think I'll like the first 4s, 3 Sharks. 3 Gust, no Remand. This looks pretty good to me. Mulligan. Keep. I think I'm putting back Cryptic. Condemn is really good against them, of course. I think I'm still playing this tap though. But yeah, but Condemn is very, very good against Scourges and Shadows. What's my anti-trickery tech? I've got main deck Aether Gust, main deck 2 Pithing Needles, 4 main deck Teferi Time Raveler, and 3 Sideboard Deafening Silence. So I've come prepared. Is blue-white a meta call against the Cascade decks? Yes, that's exactly what it is. But we have not played against it yet, which is, you know, kind of how it's going to be in leagues, you know what I mean? That just is how it is. Although, like, last week there were some leagues where we played against Cascade decks like 3 or 4 times a league, and then sometimes just 0 again. Yeah, no Nyx. Yeah, I think Deafening Silence is better than Nyx. I do think Nyx is really cool. And is a good sideboard card in your non-white blue decks. Oh, straight up, is blue-white approach better than Miracle style in that case? I mean, I'm not playing approach from the Second Sons. That card's terrible. Especially when you have access to Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and Jace the Mind Sculptor. Those are both card advantage engines and win conditions, and Shark Typhoon. You still need to play a card like approach. Well, despite us having what I think is a pretty good matchup, we might just be getting run over here. I mean, mulliganing on the play against like the double Thoughtseize is brutal. I'm gonna save this for a Sanctuary if we draw an island. They have a land, they can escape Kroxa. They have a Monastery Swift Spear. Are there any non-obvious applications for Nyx? A lot of the Cascade decks also play Force of Negation, so you can also counter that. No, stops Lotus Bloom, Summoner's Pact, although you probably don't want any more than 1 against Titan decks. I think I'm just going to draw 2 here. We need to get the ball rolling. This can get the ball rolling if my opponent doesn't escape Kroxa. Does Luris allow them to pseudo-escape Kroxa for red-black? It allows them to like act like they're playing it from the hand, but not escape. I'm doing well, Purple Plat. How are you doing? Alright. We're going to have to draw very well from here. Alright, that's not nothing. Approach to building the deck. Oh, I see. Approach. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, like counterbalance doesn't counter the Cascade decks effectively enough, so I don't think you want to be on counterbalance at the moment. And we're not dead on board, but I think drawing Basic Island means we cannot win this game. Is there a reason for Verdict over Terminus? I'm not of the opinion that sweepers are so good that you want to play like 4 copies, and Terminus does get worse, like in a metagame where sweepers are not so good.
Welcome,
and when
to the Shark
like you don't want to
Typhoon.
play 4 and kind of have that like more consistent access to Terminus. I think I just want like 2 sweeper effects at the moment, and I think when that's the case, you want to play Verdict instead. Just James, 1 year. Hell yeah. 1 year later, it is still blue-white control. Hell yeah. Finger on the trigger. Yeah. Not good enough. Not with that Croxa in the graveyard. 2-0 into 2-3 is pretty sad. I do think we got, like, we did misclick against Spirits. Not clear that we would have won without it. I'm going to run it back, though. Flusterstorm in the sideboard. I don't think so. I think I'm playing Deafening Silence, kind of like where that spot would be. Hey, Yama, are you feeling better? I know that you've been sick.